You really need to read comics for yourselves. And let me explain why. Hey there, this is Perch. One of the things that irks me, it's kind of like a pet peeve, is when I'm talking to somebody in real life or in a store, and it becomes clear that they're making a heavy argument or they're attacking something or they're whatever, they're mad about something, and they haven't taken the time to actually read or understand the subject matter. Now, there's just not enough hours in the day to read and see everything, and I get that. And we ultimately do have to trust the people we're listening to or reading to help give us some guidance on things. You're listening to me right now, so I should be hopefully informing your opinion, but not making up your mind. And I think it's weird that I have to say it this way, but that's what I want from anyone who listens to these videos. I want you to make up your own mind. I want to give you one piece of data, one piece of input, maybe that you don't have, maybe some context. But at the end of the day, I never like the thing that will cause me to leave and stop doing videos is if I ever start seeing people kind of treating what I say like a cult, or but some of the videos, some of the people who do videos, the bigger names, not getting into any of the other stuff, but the Ethan Van Sciver, the reaction, not him, but the reaction people have to him at times with the Hail Caesar and all that kind of stuff, that would drive me nuts. Now, different people have different views, and that's cool. But the fastest way to make me legitimately uncomfortable is to start doing that around me. I can't do it. I think again, I don't know why it triggers me. I guess I don't want that kind of engagement with the people who listen to me. I want people to make up their own minds, have their own beliefs, and so everything I've done here is to try and give you some more data so you can make up your own mind. I don't want to tell you what to think. And where that really irks me, again, it's a pet peeve, is around comics. And there's a lot of video reviewers out there, a lot of people who go through comics, a lot of people who say, this is trash, this is garbage. And for copyright reasons, I don't think most people do not pick up a comic and then just go through it page for page. I think you can get a copyright strike. There's some other issues with that. So that's why when I do videos, I'll show some little snips from the issue, or different video reviewers might skip a couple pages and other things. So you just got to kind of be a smart consumer. Realize that, obviously you're not seeing the whole comic. People are skipping pages and other things. They're making the decision of what's important and what's not important for you. And that's cool. Again, you learn to trust different people's data, different people's input, but just, realize that the decisions they're making for you may not be good decisions. They may be misinformed. They may like the Hickman X-Men stuff. Hickman leaves little clues, little Easter eggs, little bits on nearly every page. Brian Michael Bendis with Event Leviathan. I've done a couple videos on those. He's leaving clues throughout the comic. I may be missing them. So when you're seeing my video, don't assume you're getting all the perfect information. You may not be. I may be missing them, which means you're going to miss them. And so it's important that you take this data and then look for yourself if you're interested. And further, I find a lot of people who will tell me things, argue fiercely about, well, Captain Marvel is just like this, and I know immediately they never read Captain Marvel. They're responding based on a video they saw of somebody else, more than likely ripping Captain Marvel. Not ripping, physically ripping. I just mean tearing into it. That doesn't help. Negatively critiquing it. There we go. And so keep in mind that the point of view of the person talking, like I did a video a while back that got some downvotes from the writer involved. Sorry. An issue of X-Men back prior to Hickman that was just depressing to me. And so I was just pissed. I was pissed and depressed doing the video. And as I go back and listen to it, I almost took it down because it's like I'm putting too much of my own emotion through the video on this comic. So if somebody picks up the comic for themselves and reads it, are they going to, that they're going to hear at least to some extent my voice and my this is bad, this is bad. I don't want to do reviews like that. I hope you're hearing, like when I do other reviews of the Hickman stuff, or some of the older comic reviews I've done, you're hearing excitement in my voice about here's something I'm excited to communicate with you and share with you. I think that's pretty cool, but it's not. Um, Again, I'm not trying to sway your opinion. I'm just trying to put forth an opinion, and I do think a lot of people, you get very misled, particularly with the key comics. I think one that always comes up is around Miss Marvel, and people will say, "Well, Miss Marvel, threw children in gulags," and it's like, yes, that was sort of a storyline that was told in Miss Marvel during Civil War II, and it was an oddball storyline. It didn't fit the character and everything else, but the reviews of that from many of the big names kind of made it seem, or made it appear, that you had this kind of lunatic character who was, always this fascist kind of person imprisoning children. And that wasn't, first of all, it wasn't the story. Second, it was a storyline where Miss Marvel as a character was uncomfortable with it from the beginning, and even Captain Marvel, even Carol, was uncomfortable with it, but believed she was doing the right thing, even though it was clear she wasn't. And it was presented to the story, to the reader, as somebody making a bad decision. Now, I'm not defending the story because it was not a good story, but the reviews and the comments on it were much different from how people absorbed it and how those videos kind of communicated it. And I think that's definitely something that did not come across in a lot of people. And um, anyway, it's just it's funny to watch those things. The other one is the whole Riri Williams Iron Man bit. The reviews of that, she's a sociopath, she's this and she's that. So people come back and they'll parrot what I've heard another reviewer say, which really wasn't accurate to the comic. And then over time, it's like the telephone game. That's that game where you whisper something in somebody's ear, and then they whisper it in another ear, and it goes around in a circle. And eventually, you get back to you, and it may or may not be what you said. It's designed to kind of teach a lesson about how rumors spread. That's kind of how a lot of these comics work. A reviewer will say something, and then somebody else will hear it, and then kind of parrot it in a tweet, and then on it goes, and time passes, and pretty soon it's actually very inaccurate to the actual comic or character it's presenting. And again, I'm not saying these are great comics. The Riri Williams Iron Man comic was painful for a lot of different reasons, and it was just poorly conceived, poorly timed. But I prefer to dislike it for what I see on the page versus what a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend told me was wrong with it, if that makes any sense. Anyway, that's kind of all I have to say. It was just a short video, but this keeps coming up. And I'm going to do another video where I take, kind of a classic comic that everybody kind of universally agrees is a good one. And I'm going to show you how by mocking it and kind of reading it in a certain way, I can change your perception of that comic. This is human nature. And so I think, absolutely. Am I saying, don't listen to review videos and don't follow people? No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying understand you're hearing somebody's opinion, and it is definitely not necessarily fully accurate in terms of the facts of what's going on. You're hearing an opinion. An opinion is just that. It's an opinion. Opinions are not facts. Opinions are opinions. So anyway, what do you think? Leave me a comment. Does this make sense? Are you just annoyed now because I've insulted your favorite YouTuber? Hopefully not. Like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, tell a friend, follow me on Twitter at Comic Perch, and thanks for listening.